Alright, so I was just poking around a little bit. Hi guys, this is Dandelion Song, and I was just poking around a little bit more here, and I was finding some strange numbers, and I decided to go ahead and make a video about it. So this is from the top here, and I didn't probably draw this house right. I'm trying to figure out where the top of this is, like a pentagram, right? But it's in a certain shape, and from the top to the bottom, at least in this direction, I think I got the parallels right, so my heading is right if the height isn't right. And that would be a 9/11. So, you know, can't make this stuff up. I just wanted to bring that to you. It's from the top to the bottom, so I probably will follow that. I might follow that out. I'm going to look at the other ones and maybe follow a few of these out and see if I can see anything. Alright, well, I did look at this. These is 54 feet on either side of this, so I do have this line centered. But then I got here and I thought, well, I better film this part. The headings here were a little bit strange. This is a 4.4 degree heading, and this heading right here that you see going out, that's a 44. So I thought that was interesting because this one goes straight to the Washington Monument. So we know we have a 4-4 theme going on here, but also this in feet, the distance is 109.6 feet, and so we have the 816. The 816 number again, reduced to the 96, which is the date of Diana's funeral and the Diana Artemis Ishtar Inanna connection. On this one, I might be a little bit off on the distance, but it's still 109. But I probably didn't come down far enough. These shrubs are missing right here. But here, the heading on this one is 3.36, and on this short of a distance it is hard to get an accurate heading. It does change slightly, so you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt. Alright, well this one, the one in yellow, I think I'm really going to take this because it's a 7-11 mirror, and that's supposed to be the slope ratio of the pyramid, so I think that they would probably emulate that. So I think that this must be the right one that I did right here. I'm going to save that. And the heading is 336.25, and that could either be a 7 or it could be a 3. You know, like I said, when you measure these short distances, your degrees are a little bit off. So, but I think that 336 is what they were intending because that's a 6.6. And just to be complete, 117.59 is what I found on this side. With 31.32 degree heading. So this helps us see the center. I'm not sure how they view this, you know, like what's their important direction, but I would think this would be the important direction, so I'm going to go take a look at that. Alright, so I just wanted to show you this. This is actually the Elvis number, because he had, I think he was a 261 though, but or no, I think he was a 216, because this is the 2160 is the number, yeah, it is. It's the Baphomet number of February 16th, but also the 2160, that years is, they call that the diameter of time of a zodiac age. So, you know, it looks like they put some thought into this. And I bet you they have this line here maybe as a capstone, and interesting that you would pull in and park here. I'm probably going to have to look at that, but also, so the heading here is 383, which would be an 1111 mirror. Just wanted to show you that. Alright, well the first stop here, going off in the direction of from the Georgia Guidestones, is the Ohio River, I believe. This is the Ohio River, right next to Huntington, and it's not too far from Charleston, right there. And they also have a Highway 77 right here, which is kind of the same as the Georgia Guidestones, and it has to do with Elvis. But there was also a 9/11 here. Let me go in and out a little bit. There it is. There's some other, you know, there's a 23, like right here, there's a 23, and the mirror 32. I have a feeling these guys don't have enough numbers. Like, we need to go to the number store and get these guys some more numbers. They don't know what to name things because they don't have enough numbers. So maybe, you know, it's just, maybe it's that simple. And it's a total coincidence that there's just a 911 and a 23 and a 32 everywhere. Okay, let's look somewhere else. All right, well, I don't really know where to lay this down. I'm just going to draw the line back to Charleston. They have a 64 highway here, which is an 88. And that kind of ties in with some of the other numbers. And I didn't know where to lay it down, so I laid it down on Magic Island, which is a 93.23 heading. I think I'm going to try to find out where they have a drill college here, like a college that teaches people how to stage shootings. And it's, I saw Team Wake 'em Up had it on a video about it when he looked it up on the Homeland Security website. So, I don't know, maybe I can find it. All right, well, here we are on the Homeland Security website. It's to apply for student training to be a student in these drills, and I just want to show you the, hold on, let me pause it. This is the Team Wake 'em Up a video about the Charleston shooting hoax was a confirmed active shooter drill. Red Silver J, if you want to go and check that out. I really just, this is a really good video. If you have people, you know, on your Facebook who really can't, really have trouble with this, this is good. When you go down on the website and you prove it's a drill, and he just does it in 3 minutes here, so you might be able to get your people to watch it if you, he got it from Dabu7. Oh, he has a Facebook page. That's good to know. So, all right, this is an official website of the Department of Homeland Security. Mine looks a little different. Let me look at mine some more. All right, I guess you need the link in the description box because when I brought mine up, it looks different. Let me show it to you. Hold on. All right, so that's how mine looks. I guess mine is an application if you actually are a student, and his must be looking at the drill or something like that. Okay, so here we go. All right, well, if you click the location page and about the Charleston Center, you can see that they have a 5-story, 400-bed dormitory in Charleston that can house 767 students so that they can train for these drills. And what Team Wake 'em Up shows is that, you know, there was an active drill during, you know, they probably prepared for this drill, and then they had this drill during the exact times of the Charleston shooting. I'm just trying to locate it so I can find it on my map. So I'm kind of looking for an address here. All right, well, here, if you want to be a student and you want to go to the Charleston area where they have the latest equipment to help you drill for these simulated drills, you can call these numbers so that you won't lose your way on the way to becoming one of these actors. And so I'm sure they all have to sign something where they don't, you know, tell the truth to the people who are supposed to believe that these kind of things really happen. All right, well, I'm still looking for the address. I think I'm just going to have to look at Bainbridge Avenue. All right, so if you start at the Charleston International Airport, and then you take 526. All right, well, then you come this way to get off of 26, and you come off of this way. You get on Viaduct Road right here, and then you turn onto Bainbridge. You come down here, and then there's some security buildings down here, and they have a lot of acreage over here, but as it turns out, they don't have enough room to run their drills. So they have to go and do it in the community, or unless there's a church in here and it's just like a set. But this is where their school is, and they have a lot. Look at all these buildings. So if you want to be a student and you want to be one of these actors, you can come here and learn how to do that. All right, well, I just had to show you this. We have a 118, which I'm coming to think of as my Nefertiti number. I know that doesn't really ring a lot of bells for people, but she does have a phi on her forehead in snakes, and she might be an Isis, Ishtar, Inanna, Artemis, Diana tie-in. And they talked about her on 8/11, and there were a lot of other strange numbers in her story. And I did a video on her. It's on my unlisted Dandelion Song blog page. So here, but also you might notice that the 8 The 816 number having to do with Dillon's storm roof, the Georgia Guidestones, the two skeletons below the Hoover Dam is here in the headings between the Georgia Guidestones, the center of it, to this spot that I picked. I mean, I just kind of randomly picked it, but I don't know, I feel like I kind of have an intuition for what their special thing is, and you know, maybe they sit here and have picnics and have guitar circles or something, but put it right there. Actually, let me make it a little longer, because this degree is so perfect. And then we have an 11. Oh, we have a 94, 94, and that's nice because that's a 13, 13. Right? Okay, so I guess this must be the right place, because that's a 13, 13, which is an MM, right? It just totally ties into the Georgia Guidestones. It's beautiful, except for in a scary way. All right, let me pause it. All right, well, I would make a still of that, and I don't know. These people kind of freak me out. I just want to live a normal life. But does it bother anybody that there's 767 students here right now training to have hoax drills, training to participate in these drills? And 767, that's also a 1313 number, and that's an MM number. 44, right? All right, well, hopefully they're too busy to watch my channel. If you are watching my channel, I don't have enough viewers. I'm no threat to you. I'm just curious. I'm just wondering what's going on. All right, well, real quick over here in Moneta, there's some strange numbers. There's a 806, 608, and an 806. So that was really that's a gateway number of really, I would say, the market crash, because today's at 888, which would be an 816. But there's a 1616 right here, 16 mirror. And then over here you have a 69. And we've talked about that. And over here you have a 77, and that's the same as the Georgia Guidestones, local, right next to the Georgia Guidestones. So I will do a distance here. You know, there's not hardly anything here, so I'm wondering exactly where this was. There's just not much here. Seems like you would recognize it from the sky, because it had like decks and stuff, right? All right, well, another thing I noticed that might be indicative of what their next plan is there's a White House road here. Right, where is it? There it is. It's right here. And the White House road is on 608. And it turns into Addis. So, I don't know. You know, it's just good to kind of notice those things, and then later it might help you put some other clues together. Alright, well, I think I found the place, and so I just wanted to show you that there's a 911 in the coordinate. And then there's also a 96 in the other coordinate. So the 96 is kind of like the 816, having to do with the date that they did it, which was an 888, which could be an 816 if you add it that way. You know, I was waiting for them to do something on this date, but you just need to move the numbers around, and you can figure out what they're doing. And then your clue that this does really have to do with 816 is Alison Parker's name. And I think there was another 816 tie-in on this one. I know there was an 816 tie-in on the stock market crash too, but I don't. So that was your clue that there really is a connection here between those numbers. The 37 is the I think that's the 12th prime, and they do like to mirror that with a 73, the 12, and the 21 prime. So there might be another part to that, because I usually see those numbers in mirrors. And there's a 98 here as well. So there's a few different things here. All right, but the one that really pops out is the 911, and then, as you may know, the W is a 23, so there's a 923 there. All right. All right, well, I was just going to play this because it makes a really interesting juxtaposition with the numbers. He's talking about the tiers and why people are so, confused about how something like this could happen.
Virginia Barton prepares to lay a flower in memory of WDBJ7 reporter Alison Parker.
Virginia Barton prepares to lay a flower in memory of
WDBJ7
reporter Alison Parker, a photographer.
Okay.
Adam Ward. She says she watched this morning's broadcast of the deadly shooting.
All right, she can't believe it, and she's a decent human being, and so it's hard for her to imagine that something like this could happen. But look at these numbers I just found. So I took the site, I found the site because I saw the video, the aerial shots, and so I was able to, I think, really place my anchor well. And so it happens to be a perfect 222-degree heading, which is the slave number that we talked about, the ham number. And there's also an 11 here, as well as a 6. And there's also a 6 and a 9. So, and then the distance is very interesting because that is, it's a 9, as well as a 44, which is their kill number. So this is very, very precise. They did this really, they put a lot of effort into these things. Now, so since this is a 9 and an 8, I think that we should also acknowledge this 9-8 over here, just to notice that. And that way, if we see other 9-8s, we will connect it with this one, and we'll be able to catch those connections. Well, this lady, she might be an actual citizen who is confused by this, or she might be somebody who's paid to talk about these things. Usually, even these guys are paid to speak about these things, and the way that I can tell that is if I gematria their statements. Their statements are suspiciously aligned with the gematria of the story. Also, not usually on a local news station as much, however, on those too, but more on the bigger stations, they will have vehicles in the background that have certain numbers on them, and so you can tell that they have control over the scene here, usually. So it's all very interesting. My feeling about this, after watching the video where it looks so fake about him waving the gun around and nobody noticing it, I really felt like this has got to be a hoax. But what it could have also been, it could have been that these guys thought they were in a drill, like they agreed to do a drill, and then they ended up getting killed in the drill. Maybe they signed some oath or something that they didn't realize that they signed, and they agreed. They signed away their safety or something, and they thought they were participating in a drill, and they ended up dying. Because I do think that this is supposed to be a threat message to journalists, because I feel like journalists are creeping out into telling more truth, and I think that the mainstream media is trying to get that under control, in part with this story. All right, well, it's a little bit late. Sorry if I sound tired. Gonna go ahead and go to bed. I hope you guys are having a good night. Be safe. Talk to you soon.